It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that one and done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información. And tonight, you are lucky enough to stumble upon our instant reaction to the Big East opener for Georgetown and Marquette. Georgetown out ahead 78-69 tonight, getting the win. We appreciate you hopping in to have the discussion. If you don't know, now you know. My name is Jay Heinrich, and I'm the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train. Joined tonight by the man around these parts known as El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship at MC Holland 34 on X, the OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, a great night for Cooley and the gang. But really, I think if we don't start here, we'd be doing a disservice to the young man. Halafanua had himself a night tonight, man. How you feeling? What it do?
What it do, man? Yeah, big game here in the Big East because we've been talking about it. We talked about it on this past Sunday when we did our recap show. It's looking to me like a 3-bid league, potentially 4. Lenardi has it at 4, but it's like who's going to be that number 3 or number 4 in this league? So yeah, just an awesome performance by Halafanua leading Georgetown. I mean, it's the same song and dance like when you play Marquette. It's just been a staple of Shaka's teams, right? He doesn't really play a traditional 5. Especially this roster that he has. It doesn't really have a 5 on this roster. So, yeah, I just thought he was able to do whatever he wanted to, man. He obviously had an incredible game scoring 21 points, but really just dominated the first half. I mean, 13 points, 3 boards, 3 assists. Like, he just did whatever he wanted to, and that's kind of been the trend. When you play Marquette, you just, you're just going to dominate inside. And what's funny is that these two teams can't shoot. Like, that's the problem. Like, Georgetown came in shooting 29% from 3. Marquette came in shooting 30.5% from 3. So to me, it was more of a tale of like who is going to get easy buckets inside, which Halafanua was getting, and who's going to get to the line because both teams shot sub 27% from 3 tonight. And Marquette took 26 of them. But the difference was Georgetown got to the free throw line 23 times and shot 87%. Marquette at home, only 12 free throw attempts. Now, Marquette, obviously, the way that they're built, they're not built to, take a ton of free throws. You know what I mean, Jay? But yeah, I mean, Halafanua just did what he did. The guards were solid, and they kind of got away with not needing KJ Lewis in this one.
Yeah, under the weather was KJ Lewis, didn't start, and we were talking about this right before we came on the air. Like he literally subbed in 3 minutes after the game started. Why not just start him? Like, and it's just that old coach's thing, like, well, if you didn't get a full practice in, you can't start. Okay, man, like, I get that. But you do put him right in anyway. He only ended up playing 13 minutes, did not score the basketball. But Halafanua definitely picked up the slack. You know who did not pick up the slack in the first half was Caleb Williams. 3 fouls and no points, but he did end up with 11 by the end of it. Mike, I want to switch to the other side here. Marquette made a lineup change that was not having to do with anybody being ill during the week, but more of a strategical move here. Gold moving out of the starting lineup. Parham making his way in, had a nice game tonight. What are your thoughts on that side of things and sort of how that played into the game, the way that the game went for Marquette tonight?
Yeah, so I mean, we've been mentioning like I don't understand why Shaka is not playing his 3 or 4 best players 30 plus minutes because that's what he's done. He hasn't run out this ridiculous like I'm going to play 11, 12 guys, and that's the sign of it's a sign of one like you're trying to believe so much in your development, but you don't really have any dogs on this team, unfortunately. Now they're going to get some wins because these guys play hard. Like Chase Ross, he's a great number 3. Right, number 3 option when you have a Jones, when you have a Kolick, when you have an Oso Iguodaro, you know what I mean? But just like having him as your lead dog, he's going to have some big performances. I just think you got to play your best players, right? Now Parham, they've been mixing up their starters a lot. So obviously Parham going to be more of a focal point in that front court. Gold coming off the bench, they're wanting to get some outside shooting. He hasn't shot it well, so maybe switching it up for him, getting him some looks with the second unit to see if he can get his 3 ball going because if Ben Gold's not making any 3s, Jay, it's it's tough because he doesn't really give you that much defensively. And that's kind of been his calling card for his career. So if he's going to shoot sub 30% from 3, on the season, it's pretty tough to have him on the floor. So yeah, I think Shaka's just trying to grab at some things here, Jay. And I don't know, man. Like last year, they were 300th in bench minutes. This year, they're top 75. It's like he didn't use the portal the last couple of years. He doesn't want to use it, even though his best player came from the portal a couple of years ago in Kolek from George Mason. So I don't know. I don't know why he's not adapting. I know he believes in his process, Jay. That's something we saw down here. But at some point, when you realize like you don't really have the guys, and I mean, you should have gone out and got a guy or two to kind of go with Chase Ross. Like this is a big step for him, and all these other guys. We were like, are they even going to be able to fill in? And we haven't really seen anybody outside of Parham, maybe a little bit of Nigel James, kind of look like they're going to be solid players in the Big East, man.
James looked solid tonight. Ross did not. 1 for 11, my man. Like that's not gonna get it done. Obviously, 0 for 5 from deep. Like, what do you think was up with Ross tonight?
Yeah, he looked very passive. There was one time in the second half he caught one underneath the basket. He didn't even like look to score. He was looking to dish. I think he does have to carry so much load for this team offensively. He's been doing a great job of it. I mean, a usage spike obviously this year up to 26%. But what happens when you're the third or fourth option? You go from 14% being a solid role player 2 years ago to 18%, and now you're taking this massive leap to 26%. So it's like he's got a lot more on his plate. And outside of Parham, like I don't really trust anybody on Marquette to strike any type of fear, really. Like if you look at the rest of this roster, like there's not many guys over 100 and 105 offensive rating on this team. And this is a program for the last couple of years that has been really good offensively. 35th in the country last year, 21st in the country last year. Before this game, or looks like KenPom just updated 130th. You're not top 100 as a Power 5. Like that is major, major concern.
A 78-69 victory for Georgetown in the Big East opener against Marquette. Mike, I wanted to ask you again. I want to stay on the Marquette side here. Owens had a really nice night off the bench for them. He hasn't been a guy that's done that consistently, but it was very obvious early on in the game that he was going to be aggressive. He got to the basket and got fouled. He created a turnover, and he was going to get minutes tonight for Shaka Smart. I don't think that that's something that they're going to be able to rely on a consistent basis from him, right? But it was good to see in a night where Chase Ross was just absolutely had his like D- F+ type of a game here. To have a guy like Owens that could step up off the bench and score for them, it was nice. He gave him 7 boards as well, so not too bad. Sean Jones had double digits off the bench for Marquette. Both teams were going in and out of the zone, Mike. They were running a 2-3 zone, going in and out of that, trying to throw each other for a loop. There were a couple of times that you could tell there was a team, are we in the zone? Oh, easy dunk, like Marquette gets a lob, whatever it was. On a game like this where some of the stars just are not performing at their highest level, when you see a team or both teams actually that are just switching up those defenses so much, is that the sort of a game where you do see and although Mac did turn it on late, I thought he had a nice game for Georgetown. But, a couple of guys at the bench like Marquette able to find ways to be more of a focal point when the stars aren't performing. You look at Marquette's starting lineup, only 2 players in double figures. And obviously, Gold was going to play. Gold ended up playing 27 minutes anyway, even though he didn't start, which you can question. We can ask why again. If you're not going to start him, why is he getting starters minutes? But Mike, again, the switching up of the defenses and stuff like that on a night where the stars were not aligning, how much of that do you think these two teams will continue to do as Big East play progresses?
Yeah, I think Georgetown has more dudes with more experiences being into a alpha role. And that you could tell the difference, right? So when coaches are making adjustments in these conference games, Georgetown is way more equipped to handle that. Like Marquette is a really young team, but you look at Georgetown, like Malik Mack, had a full year in the Big East, was a star in the Ivy League before that. Caleb Williams has been around the block for a while now. Jeremiah Williams, who was awesome today, might have buried the lead. I mean, him and Halafamila were like spectacular tonight. Well, this is like his 6th year. I mean, he's at Rutgers for a couple of years, Temple for a couple of years, some injury stuff, but man, he's like a 23, 24-year-old that is very calm when things like that are happening. So when you have that versus what Marquette is running out there, which is basically a bunch of sophomores and then a couple of freshmen, right? Like they're just going to be able to handle those adjustments because of the experience factor. So I thought when you're saying the stars in the lineup, really they weren't. I mean, Lewis and Ross both off. Well, what's going to happen next? You got to filter down to the next guys, right? And the next guys you feel more comfortable with Georgetown, with the Malik Mack, with somebody in a one-game scenario with the Jeremiah Williams, and then obviously they could just play inside with Halafanua and his progression that he's made this year. So you got a more stabilized backcourt for Georgetown. Both of these teams, they're going to have to, if they want to get into this running up here in the top 3 or 4, because I still think it's going to be 3 that make it in. I don't know that we're going to get a 4th because this league is just all kinds of backwards right now. Somebody's going to have to make 3s for one of these teams. Like, there's zero chance that they're going to climb to 9, 10 Big East wins without being able to hit the 3 ball. So that's the thing that I'm going to be paying attention to. But Georgetown, when they get into these tough environments, they at least have a backcourt that you feel more comfortable and confident that they played in bigger games, and they've way more experience than this young Marquette team.
A super young Marquette team that fell just short tonight to Georgetown, 78-69 in the Big East opener for both. We did kind of bear the lead there with Jeremiah Williams. I was really quick to criticize Caleb Williams for coming up and starting off slowly, but Jeremiah Williams did have a really nice game, 15, 5 and 5, a couple of swipes as well. Langston Love, somebody with experience, Mike, coming off that Georgetown bench. Guy. Yeah, 10 points for them and 6 boards. See somebody that's been there and done that and is going to be important for them on this run as well. Man, the liveliest live chat in all of college basketball was on fire, and I wasn't even paying any attention to it. Cam's in there. Darren, Napesy Hustle. What it do, baby? Oh, I see what's going on here. We got coach conversations here and stuff like that. Bobby Hurley, that's, of course, Napesy Hustle's coach out there at Arizona State. Shout out to Darren for hopping in as well. Good to see everybody in the live chat. Hop in. We got a couple more minutes left before we get out of here. Hop in the live chat if you'd like to let us know what you think about this game. If you're watching later on as well, maybe in the morning with your bowl of cereal and your cup of coffee, the best part of waking up is one and done in your cup. At least that's what I've been told. So, Mike, a few final thoughts here on this Big East opener, a win for Georgetown.
Yeah, I think that this is kind of trending to what we thought Marquette was going to be. I just, you look at their schedule. They're 5-7 now, Jay. Their best win is over Valparaiso in a 3-point win in overtime. They got beat by 23 to Indiana. They lost at home to Maryland. They lost at home to Dayton. They lost to Oklahoma. They got killed by Wisconsin and Purdue, both by 20 points. I mean, there's just not a lot of juice. I think Shaka's got to stop going with bringing some whoever gets hot. We'll just try to ride them. Go back to what you did last year and just pick your best 3-4 guys, play them 30 minutes, and then just move on. Especially from a development aspect, because doing all this, you're going to get these guys who are going to hop in the transfer portal. Nobody wants to play. I hate this, man. I mean, some guys liked it, but I don't know, man. It's like in Big East, you're playing everybody 18 minutes. It doesn't – guys don't want to stick around for that type of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens with Shaka with that aspect. But I think Georgetown's got an interesting path to get to maybe the 4 spot here in the Big East. We'll see. They got a nice road too, Jay. They got a really nice road coming up. They play Xavier, who just got blasted by Creighton. They're gonna play St. John's at home, but after that, DePaul. So 3-1 to start, and then you have a massive matchup with the team that's gonna be battling with them for that 3-4 spot in Seton Hall at home. So they got a chance to get out quickly in this one. So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch.
Did themselves a favor tonight, starting 1-0 in conference play, a 78-69 victory for Georgetown over Marquette. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight. Thanks to Darren, Cam, Napesy Hustle, everybody hopping in the live chat. Always good to see everybody. Make sure you push those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. I don't know, that might be the first time I mentioned that on the show That's a dang coaching mistake. But I know if you hung around this long, you're going to push that button. So make sure you push the like and subscribe button, turn on notification bells. We've got what do we got coming up this week, Mike? Anything
Yeah,
on
I
the
think
agenda yet?
might be finishing up with some DFS content, but yeah, we got the holidays coming up and everything, so a little bit slower around, but we're going to be dabbling in some things as we go through the next couple of weeks here.
Mike over here chasing commas on a regular basis in those DraftKings streets. So you're going to want to hang out with us for our DFS shows as well, our news and notes, our simulcast that we're doing of different Mountain West basketball games. I mean, we got it all right here. Your one-stop shop, your fast break of college basketball information right here. It is one and done college basketball. Shout out to Nape for being in the comments and doing his thing. Where is Nape these days? He's on the moon, I think, taking a vacation. Shout out to Nape for doing his thing. Shout out to our guy, Eric the Blue, pushing buttons, getting the studio ready this evening, doing his thing as well. Shout out to my guy, Mike El Capitan, around these parts, at MC Holland 34 on X, the OG Moneymaker. And shout out to you for hanging out with us here on this live instant reaction show, 78-69 win for Georgetown over Marquette. Push all those buttons, like and subscribe, hop in the comments, let us know what you think. And until next time, my name is Jayheinrich. Come again. We'll see you.